Good evening, everybody.
Why, hello.
Hi, I'm Andy Kindler. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Andy Kindler.
I know I'm not playing.
Well, welcome.
It's like I won't take the magician's forced card either.
Any card. Pick a card. Is this your card? Welcome to the Thought Spiral Show. There's a new show now. We're going to open the show more formally. I'm Andy Kindler. And my co-host, J. Elvis, I like that I'm acting like I'm nervous, like you're not going to follow
No, I was going to see how the bid played out.
So bored with it. I got so bored with it because I don't think it was a fully formed character.
I actually felt like it had a real sketchy vibe going with it, and then
you mean sketchy like you don't want to be part of it?
No, I thought a good sketch is a good sketch.
I have listened to you today.
You listened to me, J. Elvis Weinstein.
J. Elvis, that's right. Thank you. I'm Andy Kindler. Welcome to Thoughts Pro. Great show. See, they always say you should, at the beginning, to keep people.
Right.
We got a great show tonight.
Hook them in, let them down.
No. Coming up on the show, Andy will forget where he was.
Right.
What they're talking about.
Good.
There will be many stories that go nowhere.
Right.
You will see the downside of Andy's narcissism over the next 2 hours.
Well, I already feel it because this started with, I listened to you today and then...
No, I won't forget this. I can't forget you on the Gilbert Gottfried show that I listened to today.
Was it unforgettable?
It was great.
It was fun.
I enjoyed that show, and I decided, first of all, I would say that Gilbert is the Andy Kindler character in that show.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of parallels.
In terms of his ability. There's times where I swear to God, he just goes away. Right? Is he going away or he's just silent?
He goes away. I mean,
he goes to another part of the room?
No, I mean, he's there.
Right.
But he only cares enough.
It's so great.
So I was trying to provide on-ramps for him as much as possible. And I said to Frank before, this really doesn't have to be about me.
Right.
So I'm happy to jump around with you guys.
But when it was great, and he played with you, and
my mission was get Gilbert engaged as much as possible, and then get him to laugh as much as possible.
Yeah, and then you also talked. I like the format of the show a lot, and I was thinking that maybe we need a third person. You know what I mean? So I could just be like out there, baby. I don't have to lay so much pipe in the show.
See, but Gilbert, he goes silent.
He goes completely silent.
Yeah. You don't have that ability.
No, that's what I'd like. Then the third person comes in. Oh, right, Andy's thinking about that one.
No, but you'd have to leave the room. Whereas Gilbert just stops paying attention.
Did I not bring my notes in here?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Are they in your car?
They're in my car.
Well, go to your car.
Okay, can you pause this for a second?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
Is the door open?
Once you open it, it will be.
Don't let the dog out.
Okay, I won't. Can you jam, he says. I predict Andy will make much too big a deal about having forgotten his notes. Let's watch the fun.
How'd it go?
Went good.
Are you still riffing?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good now.
Did you do a talk?
Oh, yeah, we talked. We had a little chat.
Is there a joke?
The Spiralers and I.
Oh, I love this dog. Okay, so, oh my God. First of all, I would have been here. I don't know when I got here, but I had to go back and get my notes, and I left them in the car as well.
Yeah, you got them now, though.
But it looks like I wrote Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay, that was worth the trip out.
I cannot believe this. Oh, no, I just realized something. The notes I took, I'm having problems recently. Maybe you could help me.
Recently, what's our window here?
Maybe you could help me. I used to hate when my mother would do that. Maybe you can jump aboard my train of peril.
Yeah.
But my mother never helped because she never could find her keys. She couldn't find that. So I have my notes on my notes. This better be worth it, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? Is that how I sound like Larry Fine? Okay, so Gilbert. Oh, okay. So first of all, Gilbert Gottfried reading the credits. Not since Robert De Niro have I seen.
It takes a while for him to get through that.
It's so funny to me. He's reading it very carefully.
Yes.
Is he reading? He's reading it right then, right?
He's reading it right then. I assume Frank just puts it in front of him right at that spot.
But how about the commercial? That was rolled in?
I think that was rolled in, yeah.
I didn't know what that show was because I couldn't stop listening to Gilbert. some show on Comedy Central or something. Why don't we get what he has in his show where we get money to plug other podcasts?
Well, who knows what our future holds, but he's at Airwolf, so he's part of the whole.
Oh, okay. So 7 years from now, when he comes out with no money, I'm just kidding.
Hey, we got a Gilbert bump today, so.
Did we really?
Yeah, oh yeah. So welcome aboard.
Thank you,
Gilbert listeners.
Yeah, there's no telling who will be the next person in the barrel. Who's that? Who's that? My impression of. There's no telling.
Is that Roger Stone?
Yes, there's no telling what the
had you used any words other than his, I would not have gotten the impression.
Well, I noticed listening to you on the show what it sounds like when someone does good impressions. So first of all, I did not realize, I knew nothing about Mystery Science Theater 3000. I'm glad I didn't extend my lies even longer by the way, I'm only on one Adderall today. One Adderall at 8:30.
So far, so good.
So far, so good, right? It's a little bit better.
The notes thing was annoying, but, I don't think that's Adderall. This isn't a good
It's not going to work?
No, there's nowhere to go with Cold Stare.
Well, you think I should introduce it later?
At least, get some Cold Stare music.
I didn't realize that you had created, in many ways, Mystery. I'm not trying to say you created it, but you came up with characters on Mystery Science Theater 3000. I don't know why I never knew that.
Yeah.
So you came up with Tom Servo.
Yes.
So, to me, it's like after you do that for a year, I don't think there should have been a law against them trying to squeeze you out. I mean, that was rank. It's rank. Yes. And I'm starting to, you know what? I never cared about it until now. I'm so steamed about it. You're 17 years old. You just turned 18. You've given, this is your thing. Now, wait, you moved down to LA for it?
No, but I did drop out of college.
Okay, but in other words, so you guys continued on Comedy Central to do it in Minneapolis?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then all of a sudden they said, okay, now we're going to do this. Why don't we not split it up equally?
Yeah.
And you were the only one who didn't get full share?
Well, it wasn't full shares, but I didn't get any share.
You didn't get any share.
The other, there was 5 essential people who did it. And 4 of them had pieces of the company. And
I also agree with Frank that was pretty brave of you at that age to stand up to it.
Well, thank you.
Because I don't think I could have done it. I would have done anything they wanted to. You're 17, you idiot.
Well, I mean, that's part of the reason they didn't like me, too.
That you stood up to it?
Well, yeah, because I was the kind of person who would stand up to most things. No one wants that from a 17 or 18-year-old, it turns out.
Yeah, but but also no one wants to hear.
Unless you're Debbie Reynolds and Singing in the Rain.
Oh my God. I love that movie so much. We'll get to it. I love that movie.
Right.
Holy Christ, that was good. And I've tried so long to find people who can dance in my, where I see someone dance, I go, okay. But Gene Kelly, I don't know why I said Gene Barry.
Let's talk about this later.
Oh, okay, great. All right, so anyway. That's what I didn't know, and so I didn't realize how big a deal it was. I did realize, I didn't know what exactly had happened. Now I see the whole thing. And now, had you been me in that scenario, I probably would have been dead by 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. With just the anger and the bile backing up into my, this will not stand, would be one of the things I would say. Or I would start to change my,
Well, I mean, the one thing that needs to mitigate this is that at the time, I didn't think this show would be around 30 years later. No one thought it was going to be around 30 years later as a thing.
Yeah.
So, the amount that I was missing out on varied. There was a heyday of the show where I was like, fuck those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also had a career by that point where that was my own,
Yeah, but I just don't think it's like I still think it's like a thing like, you're 17 years old. I wouldn't think right then that I would. I see what you're saying. You didn't know what it was, but no matter what.
It was more just like this personal defeat.
It was the personal thing.
It was this. I felt rejected.
But the thing that's amazing, you're 17 years old. You've been doing comedy already for 2 years. You started at the same time as Gilbert, except Gilbert doesn't remember where he was when he started.
Right.
And so I started when I was 28 years old, and the time up till I was 28 was failure upon failure, what's it called? Recrimination upon recrimination. And you were 15 you start. At 17 you're already like, all right, here, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to take some kind of an amateur. You're not going to, not so fast, fellas.
Actually, your Popeye impression of me is probably my favorite so far.
Yeah, Pluto.
Yeah, it is. I was a very brave, bold young man, I guess.
Well, you can't compare it though. I mean, like, if that's the thing, if you're Mickey Rooney or you're Debbie Reynolds, I don't know if Debbie Reynolds, but if you're one of these who's the famous one from The Wizard of Oz?
Judy Garland.
You can't compare your life to anything.
No.
So that life.
And I got mad when other people. I got mad at this whole, like, when I was 18, I was an intern at a TV station. Is what I got from Jim Mallon, and I was like, well.
That's what he was trying to push you over as?
And I'm like,
well, first of all,
that's just not applicable. It's not an analogy. I'm on the show and I write the show.
Right. Like, it's like saying to Shirley Temple, look, Shirley, you're hardly doing anything. You do the one dance with the lollipop. Oh, well, she probably did get ripped off. So that's bad. Yeah. Well, he sounds like this Jim Mallon. I've been a big fan of his, and I've followed a lot of his posts.
If anything came out of this, if I finally got you off the Jim Mallon, Team Mallon.
Yeah, and the guy, I just thought like you had just, to me.
No, he treated me like shit. So.
And now,
I mean, all of them did ultimately,
right?
But he was the gang leader, and the one I've never had any real inclination to forgive, frankly, and or make amends, whatever, have the talk with.
And the rest of the guys don't hang out with him, right? He's done.
No, he alienated everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from enemy of the people to Jim Mallon hating visionary over the course of time.
Why were you? I
had animosity back towards him once he started treating me like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't muscle under. It was really very clear that it was like they will get me to muscle under or leave.
Yes.
And
muscling under, here's the thing about muscling under, is that you wouldn't have made it. Even if you had said, I'll do it, you wouldn't have been able to do it. Or maybe you would have been. It would have been a horrible job for a couple more years.
Yeah, I mean.
If they're not going to let you be part of it, what would be the point?
They were fine with me being a part of it, but they just didn't want me, they wanted me, it wasn't like they were excluding me from the creative part of it. I was still in the writing room full time and still on camera for every minute of the show in some form,
Yes. Yeah.
So it was like, but it was like also they go, okay, then you guys clean up the office, or some shit like that, but mostly it was like just major pay inequity. It wasn't even I didn't get a piece of the show. I got paid way less too.
It's just so ridiculous. So, did anybody else get paid way less?
Ooh, this is getting good. Oh, now you're getting me steamed.
No, everyone knows.
This is like the third time I've talked about this in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, because I did it on Bill Corbett's podcast.
Right,
too.
but we're not. I know Bill Corbett.
Yeah.
So, what am I saying? I know him through our podcast. I think is how I know him, and on Twitter.
Yeah.
But is he a comedian?
He was a Mystery Science Theater guy. He's on Riff Tracks now.
I'm so stupid.
And I think he came to your show.
Yes, and the
he
lady
came to our podcast.
The lady, the lady actor from Minneapolis, she came to our taping. She was in Mystery Science Theater, wasn't she?
Mary Jo Pehl?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Was she in Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Yes, and Cinematic Titanic.
All right. I don't know why I'm pointing at you.
I don't know.
It's very off-putting.
I don't either. I'm glad that story was enlightening for you.
Well, I also enjoyed the whole thing. First of all, I don't understand. I thought his show was an hour long. It's longer. It's like an hour and a half, right?
If you're good.
So what else did I do? I listened to that. Oh, I was very happy when neither of them responded, because I felt like, okay, I'm not the only person who doesn't listen. When you said the work ethic, you did a joke about the work ethic.
Yeah.
And neither of them heard you. They didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
That's the way it is all the time in our show.
It's a lot of the time.
What was the work ethic joke in relation to?
I think it was in Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Well, I liked Gilbert's story about going back in a different costume.
Yes.
Doubling down. Well,
it was really fun. I want to thank if Frank's stuck around and still listens. Thank you so much for having me on. It was really fun, and that he did all that research was really cool.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that guy Frank was outstanding.
He was outstanding,
but I noticed that none of the time when you brought my name Kindler, there was nothing like. I didn't hear Gilbert go, Kindler, yeah.
No, there wasn't a lot of that.
Kindler.
No.
That shows
the only thing that really that seemed to get recognition is when I said about being the tender of comics or the comics.
That was great.
Well,
oh, he responded to that too?
Well, he was he laughed hard.
Oh, okay. I love when he laughs. When you get him laughing,
that's gold.
He did a good job with that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And what else? Okay, can I ask you a question? Is it too late?
Before we.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's put this away with.
Let's put it to bed.
The one thing I was proud of was a couple things I was proud of. One was I think I went through the whole thing and never lied about having seen something or heard something that I hadn't seen.
That was good. Yeah.
I had to do a lot of them. I had to do, no, I haven't seen it.
Well, you're also in the category of things I wouldn't know, but you would know more than me about it because they were movies, but they were all after your time or they were all weird movies that you maybe haven't seen.
Yeah, there was a lot of obscure. It wasn't after my time. It was well before, generally. But
why would I say after your time?
I don't know.
Yeah, way before your time.
So I was proud about that. And I actually had a sort of sense of resolve about doing that when I went in. Like, don't do the lying thing. Don't make more homework for yourself.
Yeah. Don't cover more things to cover up.
And I don't remember what the other thing was.
No, come
I don't
on.
remember.
You were proud of that.
I Rick Parried. Oops. But it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And now it's over.
Now I have the anxiety of forgetting what you were going to say.
Really?
Bad enough.
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to say. And, the other thing was good was I noticed that you didn't, when you said, I'm not going down that road with you. That was
about Pamela Des Barres. Yeah. I was actually, I was like, I'm not going there with
that
you.
That was so good. He laughed so hard.
Yeah, I was actually proud of that response.
Well, you could see
I found a very clean way out.
Well, he has a tremendous respect for women.
Yes.
Oh, he's a strange guy, but it made me want to listen to that show more.
Yeah, me too.
If I promote Austin, it's too late, right?
It's too late. Yeah.
Why didn't you do it last time?
Because I don't know your fucking schedule.
You could have done it. You could have stuck it in. Thing.
Yeah, you're right. I should really be really extra, especially cool to Moon Tower because they were so cool to me.
Don't be that way because we're already on the on deck circle for next year or something. She did tell me that she ended up having too many. Did I ever tell you that? I don't tell anybody anything. She had too many podcasts.
Yeah,
coming through.
There's too many podcasts.
There are too many podcasts, but what was I listening to?
Could you get back on the mic?
You're so pleasant. It's out the window. Any kind of decorum of the first couple of shows.
You're literally just resting the mic on the side of your head.
Why don't you get a mic that picks it up? Why can't I have a Garth Brooks head shed?
Fucking go to bestbuy.com.
Well, I was listening to a podcast, and I love this podcast I listen to. It's called In the Dark, I think it's called. Anyway, they may get someone off of death row. It's an exciting thing. Well, that's not even the podcast I was talking about. There's another podcast called Up and Vanished I listened to. And but I listened to one of these things where they had like a live at Comic-Con demonstrate, like here we are at Comic-Con. And and they started talking and they kept talking about how now this is just a podcast. And they started talking about what made it more than just a podcast. And I'm thinking, this is not a new form. The fact that you put music to something or you add drama to a podcast, they were making it like that had never been done before in any format, where I feel like these are in the tradition of things that have been around forever in a way, right? Radio?
Yeah.
It's not...
I don't quite understand what...
Okay, what they're saying is they have a great podcast. Up and Vanish happens to be a great podcast. But when they were talking about it, they were mentioning that most people didn't know anything about podcasts. And they had to convince them it's not what you think. And my question is, what would you... I know that people would go in there thinking sometimes and wouldn't want to hear it. I know there's people who go, I don't want to listen to a podcast. But when they started to talk about the extra elements, like we add dramatic music, I mean, to me, that's what they all have the capacity of doing. It's not a good story.
Right.
But
they all started out as This American Life.
That's the thing.
Right.
They were pointing back to Serial. Well, I think This American Life is the kind of
the mothership of all that. Yeah.
Right.
I prefer Mothership to Grandfather.
I don't, because I don't like space movies.
Huh. Fair enough.
You know where I got that line from?
No.
Lost in America. Hey, we called the bottom of the ship the bowels. I was watching Alien the other night. They said, you think people will think that We stole it from them. James L. Brooks. Look, I'm not as bad as you are looking at me like.
I'm really, it's the same look
cool.
you've been getting for 2 years.
All right, which is like, what's next? So, what else were you on this week? Did you go on another podcast this week?
No, I don't think so.
We owe money to the people who are helping us, and that was supposed to be my job. I have to check my email and things like that.
You should.
But I think I really think this is going to be my ticket to retirement now.
Yeah. So you're quitting is what you're saying?
I don't want to quit. They keep dragging me back in. All right, so what did I do this week? Where did we go?
Where did you go? Did you do any sets?
Yeah, I did. I did a set at the... I sent you a set.
No.
Last week.
That was the Pleasure Chest last week. Anything this week?
Yeah, I performed at 2 shows. One at that Lyric Hyperion, which is a nice theater setting. And there were some good people in that. Laurie Kilmartin was on that show. And then I did another show for UCB Theater, old Franklin one. So I did 2 sets, and they went well.
Good.
So,
do you have any audio?
I do have audio.
Beautiful. That will be today's break.
Oh, okay, because I think there's good stuff from it.
Beautiful.
I can't do it right now, though.
Don't have to.
I did want to come in with music.
See, the way I've created this podcast medium is I can take audio from later and put it in, and it feels like now.
Later with Bob Costas?
No, you're not helping.
Also, I don't know why I ever thought that our voices would sound similar. I don't know, because we're Jews. But when I heard your voice...
You said the same thing about us in the movie. Like we're both going to be like Professor Klumpf.
We're both going to be... Well, I know I'll look too Jewy.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe you would, but you didn't.
I don't come off that Jewy.
No. It's Ed Krasnick and I who have...
Yeah.
We get together, then it's one person.
But what? Yeah, I mean, what about my voice or face makes reminds you of you?
But going in when you sent me the proposal for the podcast, the one sheet,
right? You thought it'd be high and high.
That's how I thought it would be.
You thought it would be
That's how I felt
like Hi Gavin, Hi Tony, but with Jerry Lewis and someone else.
But it's like different because you have like this. Yes, I'm calm, and I'm like yeah. Now, if you were like, yeah, they would hate this show.
Oh, God, it would be grating as hell.
It would be grating.
Exactly. I'm the sour cream.
But you almost sound like the Velvet Frog, is what I'm saying, or the Velvet Fog.
We had to stop tape once because Greg Kinnear introduced Mel Torme as the Velvet Frog.
Did Mel Torme say anything about it when he got out there?
No.
He's a professional.
He's a pro.
He's dead, right?
He is, yes. Not before I met him.
My father loved Mel Torme.
Yeah.
My father also, did I tell you who my father's favorite actor is and why? It's Gig Young. Why?
Why?
You never knew it was Gig Young. He would play a sailor in one movie. He's a washing machine. In the next movie, he'd play a pail of water. You never knew it was Gig Young. I never really ever knew who Gig Young was because he was not memorable in the roles. Yes. But my dad said the other one. He went the other way with it. Oh, he disappears. He disappeared.
That's right. He's like the Supertramp of character actors.
Now,
if you don't know who it is, it's Supertramp. If you don't know who it is, it's
Gig
Young.
Is that true? And what group is this? Which one is that?
He took the long way home.
Yeah.
Took the long way home.
Yes, who is that? Supertramp. Could it be ELO?
Because they had a bunch of hits.
And were they great? They must have been pretty good.
Really? I mean, no, they were 70s. You know,
give me a couple more, just a couple.
I don't want to because I can't think of them.
Oh,
but
man.
They did.
You had some good Foster Brooks material. You had good. It was good to hear your impressions. I don't know. I think we should add more wacky impressions on the show, like the Morning Zoo.
Well,
go ahead.
As you heard on Gilbert's thing, you prompt me, I'm there.
Well, the thing that was also amazing about him that I cannot say is true about myself is I don't like terrible movies of that are that bad.
No, I don't either.
Like he likes those horrible monster movies, but could he watch them more than once?
Apparently, yes.
What was the name of that company that he liked their movies? They weren't Universal, they were another company.
It wasn't Republic, it was another can't remember what he said.
He said, Josh, did you see how many of Lon Chaney Jr.'s? I know what he's talking about because I thought Lon Chaney Jr. made great movies. He made The Wolfman. I guess there's a lot of those movies I never.
Yeah.
I think he was also in the Abbott and Costello movie.
Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman.
I thought he was in Frank. Oh,
I think they went through
they went through the whole thing.
I think they did, yeah.
So what else is in the... I can't believe it's only been... Why do I feel like you've been... Maybe because
You seem so displaced. And
I know.
It's like you just woke up from a nap.
Well, at 6 o'clock
field.
tonight, it was on, baby. It was on.
Yeah.
Because I do a little bit of everything in an
I
avoidance.
do know that. You're a triple threat to humanity.
And it's an avoidance thing. It's like, I almost today listened, as I went for my walk,
Yeah.
I almost listened to another podcast, not the one I was supposed to, just because I forgot to listen to the one that you were on.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I had to remind myself, oh, Andy, you enjoy listening to podcasts, but because it's an assignment.
Oh, yeah? It's a whole different file.
I really have a problem. It's like I know it's a self-sabotaging thing.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get over it in the sense like, Andy, you'd be watching a movie anyway.
Right.
You'd be listening to a podcast anyway. But it's just this weird thing.
It's I mean, it might be where you and I are the same, except manifesting differently, which is we don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, yeah. But
Like I have a pathological case of not liking being told what to do. I realize that when, like I can't do Waze because it's like, don't fucking tell me something I already know. Stop telling me what to do.
that might be the sickest thing I've ever heard. Those are supposed to be when you can't find something.
Well, that's fine. But once I know, then I turn it off because I can't have them going turn by turn.
Turn by turn. Yeah.
I just need to go, okay, that's where I'm going. Thanks for the help. Bye-bye.
Right.
I don't want the guided tour of take a right. Coming up. There's going to be a right.
And they also...
Hey, just in case you weren't paying attention at all, there's a right coming up.
Used to be that they were late. Like Google Maps especially would be like, as you're arriving at the corner.
Yeah, they couldn't track as fast.
But now...
Yeah, I can't take it.
You can't take it. But have you rented cars a lot? Because I don't know if you know the procedure when you rent a car. You do?
I do.
Because it says the airport. It's not always the airport.
Huh.
Look at do you feel like I've taken dog loving? Well, I don't want to say it that way. That I've taken relationships. No, I don't want to say it that way. But I relate to a dog. It's like you don't relate to Lucky like that. Lucky, you could take you or leave you. But now I come in, and I think it's the fact that I'm a singer, actor, dancer.
Yeah, a triple threat to humanity.
That's why you have to repeat your things twice.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm glad you gave me another way to come around at it.
I didn't get that at first.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a triple threat to humanity. Yes. So it's all bad.
Yes.
But listening to Gilbert, it was like, I don't have that bad a case of whatever it is he has.
That peaceful place where you tune out.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten a pretty good deal for himself over there.
No, but if we had a guest, you wouldn't do that. If we could get you to do that, then we'd have a show. You have to be able to tune out and go, I don't care what people are thinking about me right now.
Well, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, though. There were several times where you said things like, I thought for sure he's going to go, yeah, uh-huh. And then he would say nothing.
Right.
But who knew where he was then?
I did it one time. I think at one time I went, yeah, you could have given me something.
But Frank was great. Frank is very, very good, too. All right, folks, I don't know why I keep talking about the same thing. I get something stuck in my craw. I was on my game today, though. I was tweeting out things. I mean, this was like a commitment to my own life for 2 hours.
Nice.
3 hours.
Did you tweet out stuff about your shows in Austin?
No. When is it going to end? I don't remember Bob. I don't think Bob Dylan is updating his website.
Why do you?
He has a big penis. Did you know that, Bob?
Let's talk about this block again. This block of I can't promote my own shows on Twitter. There's some breach of.
Oh, that's just the responsibility of some kind.
That's supposed to thing, rearing its head.
No, it's never find. Forget it. I don't know how to find. I'm not doing it well or timely. Other than that, I seem to be good at promotion.
Yeah.
I'm not as worried about Moon Tower because what is the matter with me? Why I should be worried about everything? Well, when my album comes out, that'll be good. Oh, do you know I would say 7 times during our podcast, I've done what I call the hatch, the Orrin hatch. I've done it 3 times at least.
Yeah.
Taken non-existent glasses off.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he did that?
Sure.
And put them on the table. I've done that 3 times tonight.
Yes. I thought you were just doing space work. So I spent the last few days cutting up my album into an album.
Ooh.
So I now have a draft. And
Are you editing it yourself?
no, well, I mean, I did that for me just to make sure all the things sounded like they flowed right and everything. So now I have to go back and do the Adderall day of.
But they're not going to edit it. You're going to edit it.
No, they're going to edit it.
Oh.
I need to now send them the paper cuts and go
Right.
in at blank, out at blank, in at blank, out at blank.
No. But that's not. But I mean, sometimes you could say, "Let me see your shot at it." No, that's not going to happen.
No, and that's not what I want. So.
Right. I would like that if when you took the responsibility off of my shoulders, that was better for me.
Right. But I'm gonna, I edit all the time, so.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Anytime a record company wants to give you as much control as you want,
Right.
then you take it. It's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have notes. I hope they'll have notes, but I like it. I'm happy with it.
And you going from different nights?
Yeah, there's some jumping.
But is it mostly one night or hard to tell?
Hopefully it's hard to tell. I don't want to say too much.
You shouldn't say too much. You take the magic out of it.
Exactly. But like I said, I'm happy with it. I think it.
Was it hard to listen back this early?
No, I mean it. Last week I listened to it some and did some scouting and flagging of things, and then this week it was easier to be a little more objective. So.
Yeah. How are you in general? How are you feeling in general? Good? You look good?
Yeah, I was sick last week.
What happened?
Much of last week I felt like crap.
Huh.
So,
Did we do our show?
Yeah, it was after our show. But
and what was the symptoms?
it was sort of just kind of general ooginess, as I call it. It was just like not quite nausea. It was almost like concussion symptoms. It was like a bad headache and a fever. And
have you had that before?
Yeah,
the way you're saying
it's kind of a light flu, is what it felt.
Okay.
The fever, that sort of feverish feeling, is what I had for a few days.
And what is your so now? How do you feel now?
I feel fine now.
Now, see, I would not like that kind of illness because I don't like not knowing what it is. See, I either want to be on the way to something horrible or let it go.
Well, I just spent several weeks doing a lot of traveling and running and sort of worrying, and so anytime you get past a finish line, it feels like your immune system
kicks back. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes an exhale.
I don't know. I wish I could predict how it is when I'm sick. And also,
I thought for sure I would come home from Louisiana sick as hell when we were shooting the movie.
Just from what was
just
some of
the cold and
no, that's not what
working
it was.
every day.
No, that's not what it was.
What's
it was
that?
some of the food.
No,
No, that's what it was.
No, I wasn't worried about it being spicy. You were like so intense on getting to it. We could have worked to it.
Spicy. It is spicy. Yes.
Oh, it's just regular jambalaya.
Yeah, but I've been noticing the different foods down here. Like,
yes.
Sometimes like it can be very hot. Is it like the etouffee?
Well, the etouffee is not spicy at all. But if you're looking for the jambalaya, I would say it's regular spicy.
Oh, so it is spicy.
Well, it's jambalaya. It's jambalaya,
Oh my God, these are classics. These were going to go down the business.
But the etouffee, it comes in pink for the ladies.
I don't know if I like that.
It's real, it's etouffee.
That voice is starting. I'm getting very attracted to that voice. What?
Can we get some crackers for this young man?
You know what they say? You should drink sugary drinks with the spice.
I was thinking just the crackers for you.
That was a depressing day, though, watching. I keep going back to that Super Bowl that we watched that day.
Wasn't the Super Bowl, it was the finals.
Oh, what?
It was the AFC and NFC finals.
Where were we when the Super Bowl was being?
I was in Santa Barbara shooting pickups for that same movie. You were in Vegas partying it up with Team Kindler.
What a terrible Super Bowl. What a terrible Super Bowl. Well, the New England will never win again, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that's...
Is he retired,
cling
Kelly? Is he gone?
That.
What?
I said cling to that.
Oh.
Who's Kelly?
He's the guy who was my favorite quarterback in the 90s. I just confused him. Wow. Jim Kelly. I love him.
Oh, yeah. He's retired, yes.
I can't say the guy.
Grandpa. Come back.
I can't say the guy's name because I hate him. Tom Brady. Did he retire?
No.
Why? Why not? Who needs him? I hope he falls down. I hope he starts falling down during every throw this year.
Yeah.
And I wish nothing but the worst.
Wow.
No. He's a great guy. He's friends with Trump.
Yeah.
And also, you know what's weird is that I do feel like I've been sleeping. How has your sleeping been?
My sleeping has been weird. I slept a lot when I was sick.
That's what I don't like. Sometimes when you're sick, you can't sleep so much.
Yeah.
I like an illness where you can sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So in other words, almost being dead would be good for me. Like, how's he doing this morning?
Right.
Still around. I'm talking about death a lot recently. You know why?
You're giggling about it less this week, though. Last week you were talking about it and giggling it.
Well, my mom is still okay. So
that's good. Is she home?
She's home. She's been home for a little while now. So I just want to say, in general, Parkinson's does not seem like fun. That's all I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
For those of you, and I know in the back of your mind right now, you want to say, my mother's got Parkinson's.
I did get my, did you get your dose of, where's your Moses now, see?
You watched it again?
Oh, God, I have to.
I've never seen that movie.
That is my Passover, is to watch that movie.
I have never seen it. Is it Charlton Heston?
Oh, my God, man.
How good could Edward G. Robinson be?
Yeah, he's everything you want in a money-grubbing Jew, see? Yeah, that's why you tune in. Yeah, for the evil money-grubbing Jew, see? The turncoat. Yeah, not the beautiful, shiny slave Jews. No, not the beautiful, sexy brunette Jews. No, you tune in for me. Yeah, see? I'm your money-grubbing Jew friend, see?
Yeah, Yahweh.
I'm your on-ramp to this very Jewish story.
Is that what? I didn't even know he was Jewish in that movie. He plays who? He plays Pontius Pilate?
He plays Jason, the sort of sniveling informant turned governor.
Who does, Edward G?
Yeah.
He doesn't say, well, where's your Moses now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that original?
He's literally sitting there he's literally on the side of the Red Sea going, yeah, would you rather go back to the brick pits or drown in the ocean? Yeah, see? Sadly, at least with Pharaoh, we were safe, you know.
Sadly, that would have been me had I been involved.
And he's the one who rallies them into building the golden calf when Moses goes on to the to Mount Sinai to receive the Ten Commandments.
I can't believe you've watched this movie.
Oh, I've watched it a lot.
It's 3 hours, isn't it?
It's more. It's like 5 hours when presented on network television.
How could you watch it more than once ever? What do you love about it? Again, you're eating food and you're doing chores, right?
Yeah, I'm not sitting riveted. I'm not, but I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I don't know. It's something. I mean, there's this fascinating campiness to it. There's grand scale to it. There's this weird sadomasochistic eroticism to it. It's like the porniest wholesome thing there is.
Why, they're whipping the slaves?
There's whipping and a lot of it's just a lot of S&M-y innuendo. It's not just slaves whipping, but it's like, I'm the queen, bow before me, kind of, weird sexuality, like wherever they could inject it in.
Who are the sexy ladies in the movie? Is it Elizabeth Taylor? Is she in there?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
what am I thinking of that she's in?
You're thinking of Anthony and Cleopatra.
Right.
Yes.
That was Richard, Burton.
But I can't even name all the actors in it. It's just that because they, aside from Edward G. Robinson and Vincent Price and Yul Brynner, but
I just can't believe I can't. It sounds like a mad world.
It's crazy, but it's also it's like very earnest too.
Is that Cecil B. DeMille?
Yeah.
So he's the one who buried his
set.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that.
Yeah, he did this movie twice. He did it once as a silent and once then this version. And when he did the silent one, he buried all his sets in the sand in the desert so that no one could come shoot on him.
And did he use the same sets? No. Now he's not the racist one, right? It's
probably he was.
No, but he's not the Birth of a Nation guy. Is really.
No, that's
and who is
D.W. Griffith.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You know what? Enough already with that guy. I would never watch that movie, Birth of a Nation. I refuse to watch it. See what I'm doing?
What a burn.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, whoever.
Yeah, it's if you like the Klan as heroes in action movies, it's...
Well, maybe they stretched it a little bit. So I don't know. But the thing is, I would think it'd be like It's a Wonderful Life. Like you've seen it a couple of times and...
No, I don't know. There's something... It's like more like Wizard of Oz because it's on once a year.
Yeah.
It's usually on that holiday weekend.
It's so weird that you'd think I would have watched it even once all the way through.
Yeah, I would think that. For me, like what it symbolized was getting the fuck away from the Seder. Like I would go to whatever basement I was at the house of, I would go down and watch TV, and that was always on.
So that was a tradition every year on Easter to watch that?
Well,
did you have
Passover.
an Easter party?
It was Passover.
Oh, it was Passover.
Yeah.
Passover. I keep forgetting you tried to celebrate these horrible Jewish holidays to the extent that you were able to.
I was forced into it for my entire childhood.
You were?
Yeah, my family did it up.
See, my family was worse. My family was like...
We did both nights. We had Seder.
So what... Oh. There's only one Seder. What are you going to do the second night? How many bitter herbs do you need? And we don't... And the bitter herbs, which represents our people, were so bitter. And especially your Uncle Herb. So were you conservative?
Reform? I made a nice living. No.
Were you Reform, conservative?
No,
or
we were conservative.
Okay, because we were Reform.
Yeah.
So we were barely on the bus, and my mother had mixed feelings about Judaism. So but she did a very nice thing.
Not mixed feelings. She hated it.
Right.
She rejected it completely.
Well, that's not. Because mixed is like she hated it and she despised it. Okay. That's mixed feelings.
Sure.
So my mom accomplished, and I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. She accomplished something pretty amazing. She accomplished us not being able to enjoy any holidays.
Yeah.
But she didn't want us to enjoy. For some reason, she knew we liked Christmas, so that was enough for her to go the other way. But she didn't like being Jewish. But then she didn't like. I don't understand it really. I don't. But I can go sick on. But we did have seders for a few years. But as soon as we could let them go, we let them go.
Yeah. It would rotate between a few houses, And,
in the neighborhood kind of thing, or
no, within the family, and it was like Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. I guess that's about it. Those were and Thanksgiving. I mean, those were like the four
big places,
the big family gatherings that were always going to happen.
I got drunk. As the first time I got drunk was at the Seder.
Yeah.
You did?
I got drunk a couple times, I think. But not like hammered. Ever.
No, my parents were so out to lunch they couldn't see a damn thing.
Yeah. You're drinking 4 glasses of wine. It's built in.
Yeah, but I can't believe they would have said, here's your 4 glasses of wine, Andy, 8-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Why would you want you to shut up?
I thought of Passover as one of the only decent holidays because of the Afikomen. And I just felt like, it's like the Jewish holidays. What a horrible, I don't know who put them together, but, you could have done a lot more.
You liked it just because there was a game built in, the Afikomen?
Well, also, there seems like sometimes there was good food, but not necessarily, right?
Well, it depends on your family.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. My family, my mom was not a very good cook.
The food wasn't ever great in my family.
What was it? Like lamb? What was it on? I don't even remember. Maybe there was no even specific meal.
It depends whose house it was. If it was our house, it was either brisket.
Oh my God.
Or turkey. Or no, it was brisket or turkey pretty much.
You had brisket. Did you make a good brisket? Did you?
Yeah, she did. If it was my Aunt Marge's house, my father's aunt, it would be exactly the same meal every time. It would be this baked oven barbecue style chicken. It would be zucchini with cheese. It would be noodle and it would be a salad.
Did you like that food?
It was okay. It tasted like Aunt Marge's house. She made the exact same meal every time for half a century.
I hope she's not listening to the podcast.
Not from this plane.
Oh, I set you up.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. Did you celebrate this year?
I did not. I watched the 10 Commandments in my office.
Allison doesn't say to you, I hope we're doing one this year, right?
She does not.
Is there any Jewish holiday she likes? How could she?
She kind of likes, Rosh Hashanah. Like, not like go to the synagogue likes it, but likes the idea of New Year's being there.
That's a good thing. My favorite is I've told you this many times. Sukkot.
Yeah.
Sukkot.
Sukkot, as I like to call it.
And I loved challah bread with honey on it.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Wow. Sorry.
We didn't have a life like you
I
had.
had a wave of inanity kind of just come over me about our talk about this.
Well, and now anything else that you? I just want to say it seems weirder and weirder, the politics. I realize now that I, for some reason, thought there would be. I don't know what I thought would come out by. I've been wrong in terms of the predicting, but it seems like it's really going to take. It's going to speed up now. What do you think is going to happen in terms of
the Mueller report?
Yeah, or just in general.
I think that the Democrats will start holding a lot of hearings, and there'll be some really good sound bites that make Trump look like shit. I don't think they'll impeach, but I think they'll just keep having hearings where people say horrible things about Trump's stupid presidency. Good. And hopefully that'll be undermining enough to at least make him not win.
I'm so exhausted.
But I don't know, I don't know what the point of impeachment is because there's no fucking way it gets through the Senate. And so all you have is this way for Trump to make a shit ton of money, raising money for his campaign, and another thing to go, look, I beat him again, wah, 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 wah. And so, of course, the counterpoint to that is the fucker broke the law many times over, but it's like if you're a prosecutor and you can't get a conviction, you don't bring the case,
Yeah, I don't think that they would. I think what will happen is that
because they're not going to impeach in 6 months,
No,
it's either now or never, and they clearly don't have the Constitution for now. So I think the next best thing, and maybe a better thing, is just that is put Don McGahn in front of the thing and see people have it come out of his mouth, and see these things come out of these people's mouths instead of it being the 4 million people who watch cable news,
Yeah.
Get it spread out into the world,
That'll be good. It's going to be unpleasant for him. But
yeah,
it's unbelievable. In a way, the time has gone faster because he's been so horrible. You know what I mean? A lot of excitement, negative excitement.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I could make it. Now it seems like I can see light at the end of the tunnel, but I don't know. I don't think it's good for our country to have spent all this time doing nothing. Shouldn't we be doing something like getting our infrastructure together or getting a nice...
No, we're not doing nothing. We're going backwards.
That's what I mean. Okay, well, that's better. At least we're going in a direction.
Yes.
So that's good. I've been noticing on these pharmaceutical commercials that they're on all the time that I've realized what their big, the one that I'm fascinated by is Zembeck.
Yeah.
And what's the song that's based on?
Oh, it's magic. Never believe it's not.
And
so.
who is that? Supertramp?
Sure. No, it's not. But
and the thing that's amazing about when they're saying all the horrible side effects is how much the people from the drug are loving everyday activities.
Yeah.
Like when their husband comes up and hugs them, they're like, ah!
Have you seen the new one for the smoking one with the turkey walking around?
No.
It's actually pretty good satire. I mean, it's very subtle, and the whole thing is you don't have to quit cold turkey. This is like slow turkey. And so they have this animated turkey who's like out camping, and then there's, all the voiceover, but you see him whittling, and you see him walking through the thing. But it's all very straight, and he has the same happy gaze as people in every fucking pharmaceutical ad that are tasked with walking through the forest while someone reads side effects. And they did a really good job of giving the turkey that exact same vacant, slightly enthralled gaze. It was pretty funny.
Is it for a real thing?
Yeah, it's for Shantex. It's for quitting smoking.
Oh, that's right. Well,
and it's way better than Ray Liotta.
I hope they're not going to replace those.
It's way better.
Are you
than Ray
kidding me?
Liotta.
Some of the B-roll on that.
But it's like look up at the TV one time when it's on, because you'll see it's actually pretty. They did a good job with the animation of having that same stupid look in the turkey's eye.
Well, Susan, I was looking at him today, the Ozembic. We were watching it. We noticed that at the end of the commercial, the whole family are on bicycles, smiling at each other and the game is that they're lighting up a thing in the middle. It's just the thing that gets lit.
It's just like,
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? The other thing is that's not easy work to do. Pretending you like.
No, just figuring out on set, like, how can we kill another 15 seconds of this ad? All right, reach for the light, everybody. It's the family game. It's light reach. Let's play Johnson light reach.
But is that all what else do we make in this country now? It's all pharmaceuticals that we pay high for because
that's just because you watch news all the time.
Oh, that's right.
You watch old people. You watch old people TV.
That's right. What do they? Yeah, that's true.
News and murder.
Well, some people don't watch commercials at all, right? Some of the kids today.
Allison doesn't have any patience for them.
Well, she doesn't like sports that much.
She does not. No, so she's willing to watch things on DVR.
And I heard Frank online talking about the Criterion Channel.
Oh, yeah?
So it's available now.
It is.
I might get it.
You should.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm burpling.
He's Belchy Magoo.
Belchy Magoo.
So we watched Singing in the Rain this week.
Right.
And you loved it?
Well, here's the thing. I couldn't believe how much I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I don't like... I got so sick of musicals.
Right.
But then again... When I say got sick of musicals, the great musicals I've seen My Fair Lady.
Right.
I haven't seen things like Oklahoma.
Right.
And stuff like that. But I found this enthralling from the first second because the tone, when he's doing that big smile at the beginning,
right,
that cracked me up. That whole tone of him. I don't even know what that was at the beginning of the movie when they're
insincerity is what it is.
Yes. Yeah. And they kept saying dignity.
Right.
So I felt like it was a very kind of mocking Hollywood kind of movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so good-natured.
Right.
That it wasn't, I don't know. It's like, to me, Gene Kelly, he's God, in my opinion. God, his dancing is God. And so is Donald O'Connor. And then you got, and Debbie Reynolds in the middle. And what happened to... Now I want that to come back more.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I don't.
You really don't.
But they had a perfect tone. The tone was perfect.
Yeah.
Because it kept me watching. I guess because of who wrote it. I guess was my first question.
Adolph Green and Betty Comden.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that? I've heard that name before.
They were a big team, and Adolph Green was in My Favorite Year as the producer, trying to pull back.
Oh, okay.
The king from...
Who is the tall guy? RF, the head of the studio.
I don't know. I can't remember who played him.
Yeah, he was good.
That was great. So they wrote... it was sort of a cynical thing, because it was basically they set out to just recycle a bunch of fucking songs in the catalog. There was only 2 original songs for this whole movie.
Which was Singing in the Rain?
No, Singing in the Rain had been around and been in movies before. The Make 'Em Laugh.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is Be a Clown.
Oh, what's Be a Clown?
Be a clown, be a clown.
No, you can't do that.
All the world loves a clown. And this is Make 'Em Laugh, Make 'Em Laugh.
Well, who wrote? Is it like a public domain song?
No, I think Cole Porter wrote Be a Clown. I think, he probably had a good claim at the time.
Holy Christ.
But it's kind of the same song. But a great number in the movie, Make 'Em Laugh. The Donald O'Connor thing is a great number.
I also noticed I loved the way it was shot, because they shot things. It's not like it was one continuous shot on things,
right,
but they made long shots.
Right.
Like you had a shot where in the background, Donald O'Connor and Debbie Reynolds and Gene Kelly are dancing. They come over and they knock over the one couch, and they knock over another couch,
right,
and they do a chair. And they did, so some of those were like, they were not they wanted them, I think, to look like they were continuous. I don't know what I'm saying. They wanted it to look like they weren't. It wasn't so much monkeyed with.
Well, that was the whole reason that he and Gene Kelly directed the movie together, because it's clear that the choreography extended from dancing to the camera and back. You know,
Who Donald O'Connor? Who directed the movie? I don't know who directed the movie.
Stanley Donen.
And who is that?
He was a great director of musicals mostly, but he had a long career. But he with movies like this sort of revolutionized how big musicals were shot, and you see it in the movie. Like he did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. He did On the Town with Gene Kelly. He did Royal Wedding. He was the one who did that scene where Fred Astaire dances around the ceiling. With the rotating room that he built. So what's interesting, I get, part of the satire of the movie is showing musicals of that time, and so you can see when they're doing the sort of showing how all these examples of musicals, how the original movie musical was put the camera in one spot, and make patterns with dancers in front of it.
Right, like the Busby Berkeley thing.
Yeah, and all of it was, making weird, making patterns for a stationary camera, basically.
Yes.
So you not only get to sort of get educated to what it was, you see it makes his camera work stand out all the more when this constantly moving camera is filming these scenes and coming in and out and interacting with the dancers. It's
incredible camera work, incredible directing, I think.
I thought so too. No, I liked it until, at about 2/3 of the way through, I go, it's a musical, but up until that, I was totally on board.
Yeah, I think
the Broadway ballet was,
I liked it. I liked it, but it was like, you could. It was
boring, like Walt Disney's Fantasia is boring, kind of, But it was beautifully shot and beautifully danced, of course. And I thought my favorite joke of the movie was after the 20-minute Broadway ballet, they come out and the studio head's like, I can't really visualize it. I'll have to see it on film.
I didn't even get that. That's so good. And that guy was supposed to be like a good, like a positive movie head.
Yeah, I guess so. Obviously not entirely moral, but that's, but it was, I thought, like I said, I really dug it until I started feeling the weight of it being a musical. Like right at the point where Debbie Reynolds goes, where they decide to make the movie within a movie a musical. At that point, the whole thing starts feeling like a musical.
Yes.
And I start going, okay.
Yes, but here's the difference, though. I had that feeling, too, but then all of a sudden you go, oh, my God, you're going to see him dancing in the rain now.
Right.
And that's a great scene.
It is a great scene,
in the rain.
Yeah.
And then the ballet thing, maybe because I'm not I'm not up on a lot of things, but I don't really understand. Like a lot of his dance moves looked like ballet style moves that Gene Kelly was he trained as a?
Yeah, that was his.
Oh, he was, and was Fred Astaire trained too that way?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because I think I couldn't believe. I was just blown away by him, and also the look on his face.
Yeah,
like of being. He did fake smiles, but he also did when he's dancing smiles that just was like.
Yeah, I find him completely unappealing as an actor. What's great about him is his dancing.
I don't know. I
never found like him having any real charisma. But but watching him dance is great, and it's interesting. The difference in style of Donald O'Connor, who's more in that sort of more towards Astaire and the effortless look. Like if you look at Astaire and Gene Kelly, their style is very different. It's like Astaire is very gravity defying and effortless in what he does, and Gene Kelly isn't effortless looking. He's much more like a running back. When you're watching him,
I didn't see it that way, but it's more athletic.
He's portraying it as a more athletic feat, as opposed to that sort of the more casual, effortless thing. He's showing you precision where. Someone like O'Connor or like or Dick Van Dyke or someone who moves in that more fluid.
Yes. Although it looked like Dick Van Dyke must have been influenced by
for
Gene Kelly
for sure. I think it's just, it's just a school, And I saw Donald O'Connor talking about, how how much he learned from Gene Kelly on that, because he was a hoofer, he said. So,
what does that mean, a hoofer? Like
meaning that he didn't move his arms much. It was all below the waist.
Wow.
And it's all soft shoey kind of.
And that was what was great too.
They just rehearsed the fuck out of that movie. So.
And the tap dancing. Did Fred Astaire do tap dancing too?
Sure.
Oh, okay, they all did the. There was a guy in the movie who had like a scar here, who looked like a famous guy from like Johnny Dangerous or something. From the I knew I should have looked it up myself.
Yeah, he played the mobster with.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who it was.
Oh, okay. What's interesting is I don't know. I can't think of movies with Gene Kelly in them now, other than this. I don't remember. I don't remember specifically watching his movies.
Yeah.
Like, what were his movies? Were there movies that were
On the Town, American in Paris?
Oh, so they were all mostly musicals?
Mostly, and then until he got older, yeah.
I noticed when they had a close-up of him, I was like, when you first see him, you go, oh, he's like 30 or he's like 25. But then when you see him closer, he looks like about 40, 45. How old was he? Do you know?
I don't know.
Damn it.
I mean, it's easy to find out.
I know it's easy to find out, but a lot of those actors were older when they broke through sometimes.
He was 40.
Okay.
When that came out.
I was worried that I was going to hate every minute of it because the other problem is that I'm spoiled. It's bad. When I took cinema class in college, like Cinema 101, and they played That's Entertainment. Mm-hmm. That was an assignment. Yeah. And the guy was like, is this a movie or is it not a movie? And so we all decided that it is a movie, but it's kind of bullshit. Yeah. Because it's just... So I think a lot of the things I knew about musicals were from That's Entertainment. Yeah. I don't know if I saw hardly any original musicals.
Well, I'd say we should watch more, but I don't want to.
I don't want to either.
But I'm glad I saw Singing in the Rain because I'd seen virtually all the numbers from it before, but I'd never seen it fully in its context before.
Was that Debbie Reynolds' first breakthrough thing? Probably, right? Yeah. Oh, she was so good. Oh my goodness gracious! I also saw Russian Doll, which I very highly recommend.
Yeah, is that a series
on Netflix? Yeah, with Natasha Lyonne, and it is really. Do you know her at all? She was in the slums of Beverly Hills years ago, and it's really it's got like a Groundhog's Day feel to it, and there's a kind of a surreal feel to it. But oh my god, it is so good.
Yeah, is it funny?
It's funny. Yeah. It's funny and also interesting.
Good.
Also, I learned what vertebrates are.
Yeah, animals with spines.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember when I didn't know that I thought rocks were animals and twigs?
Yes.
Actually, I don't know. Now I know. I learned about paleontology.
Yeah.
I
learned what fossils. The study of fossils.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mammals.
Yes.
Mammals. The reason why they're mammals is because they have mammary glands, and they're able to. They give milk.
Right.
As opposed to, and we're warm-blooded animals.
Yes.
And that means that we're able to regulate our own temperature, which I don't know what that means, but they say that.
Yeah.
Cold-blooded snakes, they can't regulate their temperature.
I like how you've changed the premise of the show to fourth grade.
But this is all new to me. No, because I read a great article in the New Yorker about paleontology. Yeah. Where they have discovered now, pretty much discovered that the asteroid did hit the... I never realized that they had proven that this asteroid hit the Earth, and that's what made the dinosaurs go extinct. Yeah. Did you know that?
I was on board the theory, the big crater off the Yucatan.
How do you remember these things? I have no knowledge going into the podcast.
And yet you're blowhardy.
All right, that's all I got.
All right.
By the way, Frank said on his show... it was the best. He loved our homework assignments.
Yeah, because it reminded him of his show, I think.
Right, but now but you've heard from others that go, stop it with the.
But I did feel pretty good. I knew I was walking into a trap with Nutty Professor.
Oh, because he loves it?
I just knew that would not be popular. So.
Yeah, he started to call you a dirty Jew. That was good. Let's take a break. You know why?
Because it sucks right now.
It does suck right now, but I don't blame all. This time, I only blame myself 95%.
Okay, that's fair enough.
We'll be back after the. We're going to come back and
after this piece of quality stand-up from Andy David Kindler, rotten, dirty swindler.
Did you leave a message on? Someone left that on my machine.
No.
So it wasn't spurned by you?
It was not spurned. Now it's spurned by me. How dare they?
Well, I mean spurned then.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All of a sudden I realized that I'm doing a phony sincere voice. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Such a fucking show tonight. Right? How come I never could do characters until right now? That's my first character. Very funny. Call Saturday Night Live. Because they're going, I heard they're going 60 and older now. Saturday Night Live. That was tipping you off that I'm over 60, folks. And it's not a joke. Don't look sad at me. Don't ask me if I need to sit down. This is when, and I'll tell you something. In show business, when you charge 60, that's when they start banging down your door because they think you're probably dead. My phone's been ringing off the hook because it's a landline that I bought in the early 80s. Early 80s was supposed to be a funny tag to that, but it wasn't. I knew it wouldn't be funny. It's just a placeholder. We've known each other that long? 25 years? Okay. Comedy Store Westwood, right here. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Folks, I have never been comfortable on stage. I'm serious. I've been doing it 35 years. You think that I would feel comfortable here with a ratty rug and the beers and the backup beers in sight, and there's no delineation between because they ran out of money before they could get the 2x4 stage platform. So they said, no, this is better. It's better that people feel there's no delineation between the stage. So that's the best. We used to do a little dancing up here. That joke never has worked. I've been using that joke for 30 of the 35 years. Whenever there's been an empty space, I tell the crowd, hey, feel free to dance. Then in the 80s, I said, what is this, a mosh pit? And then in the 60s, I said, what are you people from the Twilight Zone? And then in the 80s, I said, what are you people from Twin Peaks? I'd like to do a character that nobody likes. It's called the confused hack comic. The confused hack. So I went down to the City Hall today, and there's a guy screaming, that was the mayor. He's a confused hack comic. Is the joke there. Earlier today, I was being followed by someone. I said, oh my God, I'm being followed by someone with a ski rack. I'm being followed by someone with a ski rack. Luckily, it only turned out to be a policeman. Okay, here's the third example of the confused hack comic. None of these jokes you should get. Don't feel bad that you should get because they only work based on you having a knowledge of horrible 80s stand-up. I'll give you an example of a routine that I think it's going to be number one with a bullet. But it depends on you knowing stand-up comedy from the 80s. And nobody, so I'm just telling you, you're not going to laugh at this. I was the first comic to find out the difference between men and women. That was me. The first one. The first comic. 1992. First comic. Before that, comics were like, oh, there's a lot of biological differences, but I guess, look out the stage, you loser! This was way before Rob Becker. That's not what his name was. What was his name? Was it Rob Becker? Oh, the caveman. All right, like you don't like the fact of the caveman. Oh, so easy now. Oh, we have such good TV. So, unfortunately, I do have ADHD, and was anybody give me an inkling of what the joke's about? Oh, okay, yeah. But even you, I swear to God, every time I ask, no one has ever, maybe a couple times, said what I was saying. Because you said the 80s had comedy. But I was talking about the difference between men and women. But you couldn't remember that. There's no jokes. Remember when that guy got mad, then he got less mad last night? I love that guy. All right, I was the first comic in 1992 to learn, because men and women are different, am I right, ladies? Guys, take a breather. Ladies, stick with me, guys, only when there's a lady. But the guy's going, and the lady's going, I wish I was the guy. And the guy in the back going, I wish I was the lady in the front. Because women, they go to the bathroom in pairs, right? And guys are often verbally abusive, and if they're verbally abusive, there's a good chance they could be physically abusive. And the first time it happens, you say to yourself, am I dating Marlon Brando from On the Waterfront? No. It's not a play, it's not a movie, and it's a real thing, and it happens once in a while. So you might have to go to a shelter.
And we're back.
That was a great story. So what did you think of that stand-up, though?
I thought you were dead on.
You did? Did you like the bit about...
spot on.
You liked the bit about...
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right. But I don't want to... Well, why would I...
Well, then there was that thing with...
Yes. Folks, I don't know if you could tell that we're covering up for the fact that we haven't chosen yet.
Yeah, well, thanks, Andy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good stuff.
Good stuff, Andy. Good stuff.
Good stuff, Andy. Are we really back? I think we're back.
We're
now.
back.
That wasn't one of our longest breaks.
No, but it was intense.
Normally, what I've been liking to do during breaks is going over and hugging with Lucky.
Yeah.
But I felt like that would get my head out of the game a little bit.
So instead, you fetched.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, but I think it was good for you, too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah.
No, I mean, I think you got a lot out of it.
I did,
well.
for sure. I can take your problems, apply right to my life.
What do we do after the break normally?
We go to eventually to questions.
Questions, but is there anything that we didn't cover? Is there anything coming up? I can't believe that I said I was going to take notes for myself this week, and that I'd be able to fill in any. I did enjoy. I forgot to tell you, I enjoyed Gavin McLeod, Tony Curtis.
Hi, Gavin. Hi, Tony. How are you, Gavin? Fine, Tony. I love that he just kept going, too.
I also love that Gilbert does not seem to have any memory of his how he started or anything.
Yeah. Well, it was a long time ago. It was like the 70s.
Is he older than us?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, I also liked...
by the way, us.
Oh. I forgot. It was a nice thing you did during the podcast. I noticed that you started to say what my age was, and then you kind of soft-sold it.
Oh, did I good?
Yeah, it's like, and he's about 60. I went right off of it.
I didn't take any real shots at you, did I?
No, you were great.
Good.
You take shots at me during the podcast.
Yeah.
Why do it on your own?
To your face, I do it.
How about, do we have any questions?
You know what? I bet we do.
We're not doing that bad on time.
We're doing fine.
And that's not a good show.
No.
I know that I'm dealing with this in therapy, I'm in a rut.
I have to, but you?
Right. I am in a rut. I'm in a rut, but we think that it's on the way to getting better.
Yeah.
Just being aware of that there's always a guy here going.
I think you're on fairly firm ground right now.
Terra firma?
Yeah. I mean, happiness and firm ground are different things. But not every situation warrants happiness.
You wouldn't be happy if you were me, would you?
Oh, God, I'd be asleep all the time. Exhausting. Tim Comrie says, could you talk a bit about your experiences with introversion and extroversion in yourselves and those around you, and about how either disposition seemingly affects one's comedy for better or worse?
Is that Tim Conway?
No, it's Tim Comrie.
Oh, Tim Comrie. That's a good question. That's like almost like by a really intelligent person. We don't usually get these kind of listeners. Have we talked about am I an extrovert by definition?
I don't know if we've talked about it, but I would say you're fairly extroverted.
Yeah.
I would say I'm very introverted.
Right.
And I would say part of the appeal of stand-up to me is being able to be artificially extroverted.
Yes. And I would like to learn to be less artificially extroverted and to just be more relaxed.
Right.
That's what I'm working on. Not trying to perform in every situation.
Right.
It's weird because when I think back about my life, I think like I've always been scared and I've always been like unsure what's going to happen. But I guess in social situations, I am more of an extrovert.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, some of it is reactionary, but
Yeah.
but you're, you tend to head towards the flame, and I tend to head towards the periphery.
But I think I don't feel as comfortable as I used to. In other words, I wasn't as aware that I was putting on a show.
Right.
Because it was so that now that I become aware of it and I know it's a character,
Right.
it makes me more introverted, which might be a good thing for everybody. Or
Right. Your reflexes made you extroverted.
Yes. Or just that it's like when I told you this, when I ride in the car with you, I told Susan this, or I told you this. It's like you will ride and sometimes you won't say anything for a couple of minutes.
Right.
And then I've noticed that I'm like, is he angry at me? Am I supposed to say something? So it really is like, oh no, Andy, you come from a family of nuts who have to constantly talk and they can't sit in the car for 10 minutes.
Right.
So when I first met you, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. He's like quiet. He's not like, but now I feel like it's a good thing for me. It's good. It's good to be around people who aren't constantly poking.
Yeah, I don't vibrate at the same rate.
No.
As you, that's for sure. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely one of the traits of myself that I'm not one of those people who embraces the introvert thing. I'm not proud of it. I'm not, but it is definitely me. I think it's hindered me in terms of just the schmoozing aspects of show business because I just can't bring myself to do that, but I think it's also, made me the observer that I am too,
Yeah. It's a weird because the thing, I used to be better at being extroverted before I was more aware of what was going on, but now I'm hyper aware of what I'm thinking inside. So now when I go to a party or when I am conscious of what's going on here, what am I supposed to say now? I don't think I used to be aware of that when I was younger because I was so into the drama of my life.
Right.
And headlong into it without being able to. Now that I can take a distance, relax, it makes me sometimes, it's better, but it's weird.
Yeah, I still have a deep, core resistance to mingling.
Yes. Do you like going to bars?
No.
I say I don't like going to bars. Like Susan loves going to bars.
I don't like crowds. I don't like mingling. I don't like, I don't like that sort of having to move through a crowd thing at all. Part of that's, I think, more of a consciousness of my size too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't like big crowds ever really.
But even like a comfortable neighborhood bar, since I don't drink.
Yeah, I mean, I like hanging out in a bar when it's mostly empty.
Yeah, okay,
You know, I like the vibe of particular places, but going to somewhere for the action, so to speak, is antithetical to what I am.
Well, when I would go out to get action, I didn't get any, and I felt miserable.
Yeah.
But I've been to Red Onions before and danced.
Yeah, I mean, I was too, because I started doing stand-up so young, my singles life was never
But didn't they, afterwards, they would go out to didn't they have like Red Onions in every town? Or dance places?
Yeah, they did. But, I wasn't, I was like under 21 for much of my road career. So I didn't want to go somewhere else.
Did you have a long relationship before Allison?
Not a long one, but I had others.
Not a long one, though. So you didn't have, I had long ones. I was with somebody for 7 years. Yeah, I was always with somebody.
No, the longest I had was maybe a year.
Do you still keep in contact with that person?
No.
All right. This is the worst topic I brought up. Tell me about the other people you've dated and how was it? But you didn't feel like when you were single. See, this is what I didn't like. When I was single, I wanted to go out after shows and meet people, and I didn't realize and I didn't meet that many people. I didn't realize how empty it felt.
Yeah, no, I notice the difference now of when I do stand up that hunting for pussy afterwards isn't part of the equation, and it's so much less exhausting.
Hunting for...
That's all it was, is you felt this obligation after a show that was what you were supposed to do.
But didn't you also...
I failed almost without exception.
Yes.
Almost, I say, but...
I would get excited by the show, though. The show would get me all pumped up, and I want to be dancing or some kind of... But it's always terrible.
Yeah, no.
It's the truth is, after a show, it's really no great way... I think eating. If I go out to eat something, it's good. But there's so much energy zooming around.
Yeah. Now there's not. I'm not buzzing after a show anymore. I'm not.
I do.
I don't at all. It's weird. Even when it's 2,000 people with Segura, I was like, right, that's my job. That's it for the night.
I get, it's like I get a little bit of psyched for every show as if it's the biggest show of all time. Not quite like that.
I get psyched up before the show.
Right.
And while I'm doing it, I'm completely engaged. But once it's over, I do not take juice away from it anymore. It's very weird. I've noticed it over the last few years that it's not, the nourishment is in the doing it, not the energy from the crowd.
Right. But I think I'm just, whatever that is, adrenaline. I'm pumping adrenaline so that when I go off the stage, that's one of the reasons why I can't sleep.
Yeah. There's not really a lot of adrenaline for me. There really isn't. There might, big crowd, and I haven't been on stage for a while. Like I'll get the tight chest.
But you're beering down too.
Not always.
I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a.
Like I didn't drink at all on the Segura week because there wasn't beer backstage.
I'm not trying to portray you as a drinker, but the thing I was thinking about is
coffee up, beer down isn't appealing.
It sounds good. It sounds good. I like it a lot.
And I use it just because sometimes I coffee up way too much. So sometimes I need to take that edge off before I go on stage.
Well, I'm trying to get off of unnecessary.
Well, you also, you chug Red Bulls before you go on stage too.
Well, that's a mistake.
Yeah.
That's on the road I do that.
Yeah.
And no, it's not something I do it here.
Too.
I never finish them. If I do drink two, it does make me feel sick.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, that was a good first question. Luke Hawley says, okay, Andy, Josh pop quiz. When you make homophobic jokes, how old does Josh say you sound?
How old?
Yes.
Oh, is it multiple choice?
No, but there's 3 questions. How old do you sound when you make homophobic jokes? Say
14.
12.
Okay.
Finish this story's tag. When she heard I wrote for TV, she said, I've seen you on the blank.
I've seen you on... I don't know that one.
I've seen you on the lots. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And this one you'll get. Name one of the comedians and I need you to kill.
Oh, I can know them all. You got your Chad Daniels, and you have your Tom Segura, and you have... Is there a third comic?
Yes.
Pete Lee.
Exactly.
And Josh Elvis Weinstein.
Correct. Thank you for
Thank you.
that out.
No, actually, there were more comics in it. I loved all. I loved all the comics.
They weren't all good.
But I loved them though.
Me
there was
too.
one really weird guy who was great.
Yes, I loved him too.
He seemed to be either like me or just success-wise like me.
He was success-wise like you. He was the one who kept eating it. Daniel Wade says, Andy seems a little edgy lately. Has he ever considered medicinal marijuana?
I'll give it I'll give that a shot.
Yeah. Greg W. 1972 says, a comment. J. Elvis Weinstein was great on Real Gilbert today. Relaxed, funny, and Gilbert seemed to actually enjoy the talk, even though he had zero clue who Josh was. Don't worry, he acted the same to see Steve Buscemi. Great show. Well, thank you, Greg. It was fun, as we discussed.
You did a great job on that show, and it made me feel like it was great. It was really
Thank you. I really had a good time, and I loved making Gilbert laugh. That made me happy.
Yeah.
Just being able to.
When he was reading your scripts, I just couldn't get over it. And also,
it was really surreal.
he co-hosts Thought Spiral.
Tweet Bahara says, Andy, feel free to wear a T-shirt on stage whenever you want. My wife and I come for the comedy, but oh, those boobs, that's gravy.
You son of a bitch. Where did he see me with one? Did I have breasts on?
We talked about this last week on the show.
I didn't have a T-shirt on, though, did I?
We talked about you wearing T-shirts and how they may show your breasts as opposed to your total boob concealing button down.
If you laugh one more time, I'm telling you something, Tweet. I'm going to stuff my bra next time, and then you'll be sorry.
Tweet also says, Moon Tower Comedy was last week for Andy, but in a few days for me. Parush and I will be meeting Andy at the particular show. We were the guys in the front row, laughing like idiots. How is Josh not invited? It's going to be / was a great show.
I'm looking forward to seeing them in the past, podcast wise.
Yeah.
But really this week. This week I'm going to Austin, then to Indiana for a festival.
Yeah. The following week?
No, just for one night.
Sunday night?
Yeah. I'm making the big bucks.
But you'll be back Monday?
I'm coming back Monday.
All right. I'm ready on Monday night?
Not ready.
Okay. Tired?
Well, I couldn't have been more ready and rested for tonight. Did it help?
Not so much. Seth Thick III says, enjoyed Josh with Gilbert on his podcast. You bonded over Foster Brooks, even if he never heard of you.
I don't think Gilbert's heard of anything outside of his own. Well, no, it's weird because he seems to have probably an amazing knowledge of old movie people.
Yes.
Reminds me of like Drew Friedman a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many things he's seen other than bad things.
He's probably seen a wide swath of things.
Yeah.
Heant says...
What's his name?
Heant.
How do you spell that?
Heyyant.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we've only heard from them a lot.
I don't know why I'm recommending. Something's wrong with me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, come on. There's not one time tonight where you've said, no, it's not you. It's the rest of the world.
That's not true. I gave you a really nice pep talk during the break.
That's true. You did. That was so great. I wish people could see how good you are, really.
Heant says, advice for dealing with crazy neighbors? Mine are old, asshole bullies who will try to police the neighborhood.
That is when you say neighbors, this is the toughest thing in the world. Because is it neighbors, if it's, I don't know.
Are we talking apartment neighbors or house neighbors?
It's the hardest thing in the world. I try to stay away, but I don't know what to do once the problem happens.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm all for avoidance.
Avoidance
is really
I've hidden
it's a cowardly approach.
Oh, I've hidden how many times have you hid in your house when you knew someone was there?
Not that much, really.
Oh, I've done it.
Usually the dogs drive them away pretty quickly.
I'm sorry about that. Well, obviously you want to try and diffuse whatever's happening, but I don't know. Sometimes people, if you have like a Jeffrey Dahmer living next door.
If anything, rat out other neighbors to them.
How do you do that?
Get on their good side by, informing on other neighbors.
That's a good way to go.
That's just one play.
It's one thing, though, I always thought living in a house would be harder because, like, I'm in a condo thing, so there's a little bit more anonymity, even though it shouldn't be that way. But I always like the person next to you, if that person on the other side doesn't like you, it's going to be trouble.
More than when they're on the other side of a wall?
No. Neither way. I don't know why the house seems more... I feel safe. It's weird that I feel safer in a condo. I feel like...
No, I think you probably are.
I feel like no one's coming through the door.
Right. They're coming through someone else's door first.
At first.
Yeah.
And I have to let them in.
Right. Yeah, no, odds-wise, you would have to be the victim of a series of break-ins. Someone would have to take the whole building to hit the probability zone of hitting your specific apartment. Whereas mine, once you're in the door,
you're
it's
here.
me. Yeah.
Well, psychologically, I don't feel as safe in the house because the house I grew up in was all creaky, City.
Yeah.
But you don't. But are either you or Allison more like jumpy?
I'm not jumpy like that noise is going to kill me. No.
Do you have? But you have.
I'm only jumpy when I hear noises in the house. It's only, do I have to fix that or not?
Right.
Those are the only anxieties. Really, it's never. That's a robber. That's a wolf. That's a bear. That's a noise.
Right. I don't want anybody breaking in.
Nor
That's
do
all
I.
I say.
Nor do I.
Stay away from us. We're very busy.
Very busy with the cowering.
Excuse me. The gumbo on your menu, I know.
It's just gumbo.
Yeah, but does it have, how many spice signs does it have? Is it one spicy?
It's one Cajun shrug.
Is it chilies? Is that what they do? It's 4 chilies or 5 chilies?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, we gave up on the chili system many years ago.
I love that. Your Baton Rouge guy.
He's kind of based on the guy from the stable.
Well, I don't know, just regular A2V.
Where is it A2V? Yoshi Yamamoto. Yoshi. Yoshi.
Yamamoto.
Yoshi. Yo.
Yamamoto.
Yoshi. Yo.
Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
We both committed to that.
Who'd win in a New Yorkie contest, Emilio Fox or Alex Brazell?
No one could be Alex Brazell at New York.
It's true.
What is Emilio? Doesn't sound like does he have the New York accent?
I've never spoken to him, really.
Oh.
I've heard him rap.
I would say Alex Brazell sounds like he was born on a set of a Barry Levinson movie.
Which would make him in Baltimore.
Forget what I said.
Scorsese. Go Scorsese.
He screams New York, right?
He
Hey,
does.
how you doing there, Andy Kindler?
It's a lie. It's a high-pitched scream.
Yeah, how's it going there? Yeah, I'm Alex Brazell. That can't be him.
He's a Damon Runyon character.
Yeah. He's coming out,
Huh?
He's coming out here.
Good. Mm-hmm. Oh, he wanted to ask me if you took care of that thing.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Cool. He did, Alex.
Fine, but he's not going to hear it now.
Well, he'll hear it in a couple days. He'll hear it before next month.
This is the only way he finds out. Yes. The answer is yes.
Otherwise Blameless says, did the music from Psycho play in your head when you fell and pulled the shower curtain down with you? Please be careful, Josh. No, the music from... That's about what I was hearing in my head.
Ooh. Well, the thing is, it could have been much... I've seen enough Datelines to know it could have been much different.
It could have been much different,
Yeah.
yes.
And it also would have been that someone would have been arrested for it. If it would have been me who checked on you, something like that.
Right.
That's what always happens. You didn't hurt anything. That's the amazing. And you that was an example of you doing what I did 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Flipping over on the escalator.
Right.
Falling off of a bar stool.
That's right. Mine had a seeming cause, though.
I don't like you falling out of the shower.
I didn't like it either. But I liked the not hurt part.
Oh, so good.
A lot. But
You
God, that shower curtain was the champ of that whole thing, really.
Because it didn't break, right?
It didn't break. It was all
Snapped.
snapped on. So
Beautiful.
it really slowed my fall before unsnapping. So it cradled me down to the floor, basically. That whole thing sucked.
Yeah. And nobody's looking at that event like, hey, these guys are pretty cool. The way they...
No, I think a lot of people are going, it's all downhill from here.
Well, I know
It's starting. They're saying things like that.
I've taken very seriously when they say people get hurt in the shower a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like hyper careful. Not really. I'm going to fall in the shower too.
This was an especially slippery shower with no mat. So
That seems to be happening a lot. Is they have these things that they claim are on the bottom of the shower.
this didn't even have the roughy, strippy thing.
Oh, they just said...
This is just a bad little tub.
Yeah.
Mark Thompson wants to know, does Blowhardy have any views on the movement of media content into branded pay streaming service silos?
Well, actually, that's an interesting point because statistically, if you compare the media landscape now to the media landscape in 1981, when there were really only 3 networks, I think you will find that By the way, Gilbert brought up the name Leo Gorcey, which is a name from my life.
He was a Bowery
He's
boy.
a Bowery boy, except my father he serviced the burner of David Gorcey.
Wow, that is not a good story.
Do you remember Slip Mahoney?
Father serviced the burner of Leo Garcia's brother?
No. Do you remember Slip Mahoney?
No.
Oh, he was the main guy in there.
In the Bowery Boys?
And the
I thought Leo Garcia was the main guy.
Who?
Leo Garcia.
Yes, that's Slip Mahoney. That was his name.
All right. Fine.
His father was also on the show.
Yeah.
His uncle, I think, was David Gorcey.
Okay.
And that was the person who my father knew.
Okay.
My father died, all right? So forget it.
Yeah. What did he die of?
He died of my horrible stories, and that's what the doctor said.
Wow.
It says a rare case of someone he could not take one more second of me.
Right. You were literally insufferable.
I was insufferable. No, when he died, he then was less sufferable. I don't know who this edgy guy is.
I like that box of water because it looks like you're chugging kaopectate.
It's a good thing, though. I didn't realize plastics nowheresville.
Are you just getting on board that?
What?
The whole plastic is bad thing?
But the first time I saw the box with water, I didn't get it.
Right. Were you scornful?
I made fun of it a little bit.
Okay.
I did the what's next thing. What's next? Cardboard? What's next? What's next? Glass?
Huh?
I'm now eating part of a pot brownie.
Okay.
But can't hurt.
No, we'll be done.
How much more time do we have?
I don't know. We have a pot brownie's worth of time left.
Would you like a piece?
No, thanks. Unless it's really particularly tasty.
No, it's not. Well, it's not bad, but you'll get high from it.
I won't, though. And I'll waste your brownie.
They say you get higher on the chocolate ones because they go through the liver.
I've tried every.
No, that's interesting, Josh.
I've tried every.
No, I want to hear more about
edible.
your story. Tell me. This would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give each other the finger for the
Josh,
rest of the night.
interesting. So useless. It's so useless.
I did that once on the radio. That was the time the guy. I just sat there with both fingers up at the guy because we came on. It was like me and the feature act, and he's like, "Okay, you guys interview yourselves," and then he like went off the air, and he was in another room. He was beyond the window, so I just started talking and giving him the finger the whole time.
How did he react?
He just sort of chuckled at me.
Okay, I'm back.
Greg Kelly says,
Hi, Greg Kelly.
What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon growing up?
I want to say Popeye was my favorite.
Yeah.
But this show called Colonel Bleep, and I don't really know what it was. It just fascinated me.
Right.
And I also
was that short for Colonel Shit?
No. It's like Colonel Bleep. He was from a different planet.
Oh, okay. It wasn't bleeping it out.
No, I also liked a little bit of I liked the little George. I don't know, but I really got into the Hanna-Barbera because they were mini sitcoms.
Yeah.
And they kind of sucked.
But those were primetime.
Oh, were they really?
Like Flintstones and Jetsons were primetime shows, yeah.
I say Rocky?
I was a Bugs Bunny Roadrunner hour guy, I would say. That's when I think Saturday morning cartoons, that's what immediately comes to my mind.
I'm wondering why I didn't get
of like
those.
Rocky and Bullwinkle, I think of as more as weekday cartoons.
Oh, okay.
But Saturday morning, like like Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show was kind of the anchor.
It's so weird that I don't remember it in New York having even.
Well, you're 15 years older than me, so we're going to have different morning TV.
But isn't it predate all of us? I mean, weren't they all kids got the Roadrunner and stuff? Maybe they didn't.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, they got them in theaters.
I did love Popeye though, but that's also during the week.
Sure. Yeah, they had both. Yeah. I liked Popeye a lot, but I didn't get how funny Popeye was until later.
Yes, yeah. How could you? Because it's all based on innuendo and all that kind of stuff.
Muttering, yeah.
And I like there was a block on Tom Slick, George of the Jungle.
Right.
And so I liked that block for a little while, but then I was too old for it.
Yeah, those were all gone by the time I came around.
Yeah.
I didn't even see George of the Jungle much.
I didn't.
Like it never made syndication where I lived.
Yeah.
Know?
I don't remember any. Tom Slick I remember more.
Stand By Your Man says, I really appreciate you guys keeping in your convo from the TS 101 break. Another incredibly funny episode with some bonus heart. Dr. Pekala would loathe your weekly insolence, and that's the loftiest praise you could ask for.
I don't even realize. Is this a show that I was on?
Yes.
What was it?
It's remember when we had the heavy talk during the break, and we put it into the show. I put it into the show.
Oh, yeah.
From a couple weeks ago.
See, this is the type of thing you won't get on every podcast.
And Dr. Pekala is this. You are an insolent Jew.
I tell you, your Gregory Peck is Mengele. He was Mengele, right?
He was Dr. Joseph Mengele.
So good. Look, you, Jew.
You insolent Jew.
You insolent Jew.
Bobby. Stand By Your Man also says, also, I'm currently watching Private Benjamin for the first time in probably 30 years and have to say you should consider Albert Brooks as your first guest if things fall through with Joel Madison.
Well, let me tell you something. If we had a show that had guests, we couldn't get Albert Brooks because he doesn't do any shows.
I know.
But
I would drop Andy in a hot second for one episode with Albert
why
Brooks.
would that be part of the deal? Doesn't seem
I'm just, I'll throw it in.
No one offered you that deal.
That's true.
Look, if it means Andy getting shot in the head,
Then so be it.
if it means Andy being shot in the head, living in a vegetative state for the rest of his life,
Right.
in exchange for Albert Brooks.
Or a sandwich.
I met Albert. You met him?
I met him briefly once.
I met him
but
at a thing.
I've never had an actual meeting.
No, I never had an actual meeting, too, but I met him at Jerry Belson's funeral.
Ah.
I don't know. I have no good story. Why don't you even bring it up?
Chaotic Neutral says, hey, Josh, do you plan on touring to promote the album or just plug it during podcasts? Probably more of the latter.
You've got to have them. You have to encourage them. I think what you should do is hire a
I need
PR
the
person.
album to promote the touring, quite honestly.
Yeah, but you could. It's just like where you're supposed to hire a PR person for like a month and get it all racked up and ramped up.
Yeah, I probably should. We'll see when the release.
see.
We'll see when the release date is, and I may do that.
And they have their own promotion.
Yes. Perush sent you a animated GIF with the "Welcome to Austin" message.
I'm looking forward to this Austin thing because I like the food too.
Yeah.
Nothing good to say anymore.
You know the problem with the food down there?
What's that?
It's very spicy. Be very careful because it's very spicy.
That's one thing I have to be careful about. I don't know if you know about that.
I haven't heard. Is the barbecue spicy? Well, it's just regular barbecue, sir. See, I was going for a more Texas thing there.
Oh, I didn't know you were
Yeah, I was
changing that
character
guy.
completely.
I didn't see that. Now I see it more.
Mad City Architect says, Andy, give us your review so far of Netflix's Russian Doll.
Oh, you should have. Russian Doll. First of all, Natasha Lyonne is so funny.
Yeah.
And she has to be. And I can't even. The thing is so hard to explain what's going on here because it's a little bit. It's surreal, but it just grabs you from the first second, and all the acting is great. And obviously, I'm not a good reviewer.
They continue with, if you like that, try their series called Maniac.
Maniac?
Maniac.
Okay, I will.
Stand By Your Man. Looks like we're talking about Private Benjamin. Still, I didn't remember a lot of this movie before it started, but I do know that my parents let me watch it whenever they rented a VHS or it was on HBO. It really has it all. Sudden traumatic death, attempted rape, getting an ideal job due to the attempted rape.
Is that really what it all is in a movie? It has it all.
That's all.
Yeah. It had humor. Oh, the thing I don't like, though, is depressing to hear that somebody, like when I was 30, was 5.
Right.
Yeah. I'll never forget when I was a kid and watched Star Trek. I was 12 when Star Trek came out. I saw Star Trek the first time around.
Wow.
I saw Batman the first time around.
Yeah. I was not born for either.
I don't know why every time I launch into that, I think I'm going to make you look bad, but it just, being old does not win. I don't win.
Yeah, no. I saw those things later and still have years on my life.
Yeah, the nice thing is I did eventually see it, and I'm going to live 20 years longer than you. Is that going to make you sad? Because there's no question that I'm going to die before you. I'm going to die before you. And I want you to so you shouldn't even be friending me. Isn't that a mistake for you? Because in about 4 years, it's going to turn into, tell Josh to come over. I got to have Josh. Come closer to the bed, Josh. Don't leave me.
I think of it as like adopting a 9-year-old dog. I can still love him.
You can still love me, but you're not going to get that attached to me.
Right.
I may outlive you, so don't be so fucking...
You might. You very well might. I'm already I already have a kidney gone.
How's your back?
It hurts.
Was that supposed to be what the operation did?
No.
Oh.
James Curl says, my family took a road trip from Raleigh, North Carolina out to Nashville, Tennessee over the Easter holiday for no reason other than to just check it out. What's the longest you've driven to visit a place just for the hell of it?
I don't think maybe to Vegas. I don't think I've driven anything. I mean, I drove cross country.
Yeah.
But that was to move.
Yeah, it wasn't on a whim.
It wasn't on a whim. I've never done much of whim driving.
Actual whim driving, it might be Vegas. It might be actual, like, decide that night to go.
Yes. I have this. That's happened to me.
I've done that as well. And regretted the shit out of it. Because I had to be back the next morning.
Were you drunk when you decided to go, or you were just like
No, I was part of a group.
And you all traded driving?
I drove back. Because I was the one who had to be back.
Is there anybody else I know who was on this trip?
Yeah, it was Pat Hazel, Mike Preister, and John Rood.
Wow.
And Pat Hazel's girlfriend, Ellen, at the time.
That sounds like fun. The thing that people do a lot on the East Coast, which is also reflected by the movie Paradise, Lost in Paradise, maybe? Where they drive from New York to Florida. I know a lot of friends have done that.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I've never done that, the full East Coast trip before.
Well, you have to live in New York.
Yeah, I've done like New York to D.C.
But I'm not much of a... I'd like to think of myself like a whim person, but I'm not really much of a whim person.
No, I'm not either. There's no win.
The only things that I would do that would be like edgy like that would be dropping acid in college at midnight.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
And I think that could also be just called a mistake.
Sure. Guy Incognito says, can we hear a mocking, full of piss and vinegar Huelhauser grilling Trump on his tax returns? Now, I've been looking over these forms for hours now, and first of all, you're not under audit.
Well,
so this is a ridiculous assertion that you're making. Now, here's the thing. How many rounds of golf can you deduct as an expense? You already own the club. This is honky bullshit.
I think that was very good. Did you want me to be Trump in that equation?
It didn't matter to me.
Okay, because you know I wouldn't do it well,
I
right?
was just going to jump in, see what happens.
Yeah. It never seems to be a part of it that you want me to be a two-hander on these.
It's not that I don't want it. It's that I know I can't count on it.
Good point.
Dana Schwartz says, so Tweet Bahara is the best name on Twitter, Andy. What about Dana Schwartz? Schwartz. I'd like to see how you rate the rest of
I
it.
think that's your real name, though. I'm talking about, I think that's his real name. I'm talking about your Twitter names. Now, I don't think, now, Josh, do you do this thing where you change your name?
I never do.
Okay. And I never understand, though. Jackie Cation does very good versions of that.
She does.
But I don't want people not knowing it's me constantly.
Right.
Because
That's
otherwise,
the downside, yeah.
no narcissist is going to change his name.
Exactly. Jim Meehan says, do you have any advice for the history student in the future who is listening to this podcast to research the early 21st century and has a page full of notes about Huelhauser?
So is it someone trying to figure out who Huelhauser is?
I think so, yeah.
I would think, well, because I would think in general, they go, wow, they had a lot of free time back then that they could do a show like this.
Right. There must have been old people still alive then to watch.
There must have been Jews and delis.
Right.
I don't know.
There's no real way to really fully comprehend the work I did here on the planet. What I did was open a lot of people's eyes to a lot of wonderful, amazing, fantastic sites around California. I called it California Gold. Because this is the Golden State, you see.
Like a lot of people go to the beach and they go, it's just a beach. But I see the beach and I go, that's fantastic.
A lot of people see a cup full of ice cream and say, wow, that's ice cream, big deal. I say, that's fantastic. Or I will ask the question about the ice cream.
How do you make the ice cream?
Are you eating ice cream, I might say? That will get the ball rolling for some real insights like, yes, it's yummy. Or, yes, I got it over there.
Now, I've seen your show many times. Are you as
Really?
Are you as happy
Yes, I am this happy all the time.
Yeah. Does that annoy you?
Unless I'm going over Donald Trump's tax returns. That's a whole different thing.
So I wish I could be like you.
I wish everyone could.
That's the best straight man I could do.
That's good.
I'm talking about sexually.
Bull.
Oh, Baltimore. Who likes bug? I got a bug in my face.
I swallowed a bug.
I swab.
Let's read a couple of emails and then get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
This has got to be. I mean, we've been here 4 hours.
14 officially.
There's a lot of plane. Now, when there's planes overhead, they may not hear it, but I always think that means I'm going to die as I go outside.
Well, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
That's what always happens. Patrick says, I love Andy's unfounded accusations of Josh. Please, Josh, make an unfounded accusation of Andy.
What's going on?
I don't know. I mean,
what?
I guess my question is when are you going to stop abusing children?
It's the worst. I would say it's the worst one you could have picked.
A little first thought theater, maybe.
Hey, when you say, when are you going to stop beating your children? I say, that's not the way to ask it.
Paul says, this is on Georgia Ingalls passing.
Yay. Not yay.
We will never know Georgia's cause of death because she was a devout Christian Scientist. Having sprung myself from a large family of Christian Scientists, 70 was a ripe old age in our clan. I broke off from that route in my teens. My ability to pray away bodily ills wasn't working for me. I'm now close to 80, see my doctor regularly, and I'm doing great. I have smoked since 12 and still do. Both of the popular plants, he says. Drink in moderation and don't always adhere to contemporary norms of healthy well-being, but do eat an abundance and wide variety of fresh, raw fruits and vegetables. It reminds me of George Burns when nearing 100, when he asked what his doctors thought about his smoking, drinking, and womanizing, he answered, all of my doctors are dead.
I think he's having a certain joie de vivre.
Yes. And a window into our demographics.
Well, the other thing, though, is that I know Paul Feig was also, his family was also Christian Scientists.
Yes.
And I guess at some point, I could not imagine myself not saying, get me to a goddamn emergency room. This is terrible.
Like 2 minutes?
Yeah. 2 minutes. Well, let me try the praying thing first. Hold on. Dear God, may you make this, may you make this broken arm heal. Not good.
No, I don't see you going that route.
No.
Bill says, you guys have ruined the entire week with the exception of Monday for me. Although I'm pretty much a podcastaholic and listen to loads of entertaining stuff, you two have wormed your way so far into my brain that I'm finding I can't wait until Monday arrives each and every week. This has effectively made me feel that months are passing faster than ever, and as a 60-something dude, it's pissing me off. Time's passing fast enough. Oh, the conflict. Thanks for the fantastic work, guys.
It makes me very happy. And the only thing that I'll say, feeling the same way that you do sometimes about, like, I look forward to things, like especially podcasts. You got to mix them up, baby. Got to mix them up.
This is what people in their 60s do, I guess.
Oh, God. I can't wait. You know what? I hope you don't make it to 60.
Really?
No.
You want to stand? You want that to stand?
That's all. Allison, if I hand to God, when he's 59, I hope he falls down a flight of stairs. I didn't really mean that. I hope you live to a ripe old... If I'm dead, I don't care how long you live.
Really?
Well, I'm not
You're not
around.
even going to leave around.
I want
a
you
good
to
wish for me?
I wish the best. No,
it's not like anyone else is going to remember you. Frank says, hi, Josh and Andy. Proud and happy listeners since your first Thought Spiral episode. Just wanted to thank you, Josh, for the excellent, hilarious Gilbert Gottfried podcast. Frank Santopadre is an incredible facilitator, and you were fantastic. Gilbert was fully engaged, in my opinion, which is a big plus. No need to respond, and I love you guys together on other podcasts, i.e. Fitzsimmons, but I am Team TS. We'll keep listening.
That is very cool. Thank you.
All right. That's enough praise for 1 week.
You know what? I like to end with praise, even though, and I just want to say, even though that Josh made that last email up to close the show, I still think it worked. Josh, what would they do if they want to write to us? Would they write to us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com?
If they were smart.
Don't forget to get I Need You to Kill. Soon it will be coming out, the amazing documentary about Michael DeBar will be available in the theaters or something.
Something. It'll just be available. If we can get it to there, everything's gravy from then on out.
Don't forget about Zazzle.
Check out our shirts at Zazzle.com/thought_spiral. And hey, I haven't made this plug in a while. Leave a review. Leave a rating on iTunes for us.
We have a high rating on iTunes.
We do. Keep it up. Add some more reviews. Let's keep this.
Only good reviews. We don't want any bad reviews.
Let's get this Gilbert bump working for us, people.
Well, thank you, Josh. And I want to say that even though my voice sounds phony now,
it does.
It's been quite a week. I've got nothing more to say, though, but I will say, until next time. ...